Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving headfirst into the world of altcoins.
Altcoins.
Yeah, those cryptocurrencies that are, kind of like branching out beyond Bitcoin.
Right.
And get this, there are over 14,000 of them out there.
It's a lot.
It's mind-blowing. It's like a digital gold rush, but with like thousands of different gold mines to choose from.
Yeah, and each one with its own unique claim, its own kind of technology and purpose.
Okay, so before we get lost in this crypto jungle, let's back up a bit. Why do altcoins even exist in the first place? Is it just everyone trying to like outdo Bitcoin?
Well, some might be, but really it's more about addressing Bitcoin's limitations and exploring what else you can do with blockchain.
Okay, so it's like saying, hey, blockchain can do more than just money.
Exactly. And a great example of that is Namecoin.
Namecoin?
Launched way back in 2011.
Wow.
It wasn't even trying to be a currency.
It wasn't?
No, it was all about creating like a decentralized domain name system.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of relying on, traditional registrars, you could register website addresses on a blockchain.
So it's like a blockchain-powered internet, kind of.
In a way, yeah.
That's super forward-thinking, especially for 2011.
It was, and it proved that blockchain could have all these other uses beyond just digital cash.
Right. Okay, so Namecoin kind of set the stage.
It did.
But now we have 14,000 altcoins?
Yeah.
How do we make sense of all that variety?
It's a lot, right? Well, think of it like exploring different ecosystems within the vast crypto continent.
Ooh, I like that.
Each type of altcoin is kind of like a different species. It serves a unique purpose.
Okay, so it's like a crypto safari.
Exactly, and we're going to be your guides.
I love it. Lead the way. What's our first stop?
Let's start with something a little more stable. Stablecoins.
Stablecoins.
Yeah. Imagine them as kind of like the anchors in a stormy sea of crypto prices.
Anchors.
Their goal is to minimize that volatility that crypto is known for.
Okay, yeah. Because crypto prices are always going up and down.
All the time. So stablecoins try to peg their value to something more reliable, something that doesn't fluctuate as much.
Okay, so what do they peg to?
Well, it could be a fiat currency.
Like the US dollar.
Exactly. Or it could be a commodity,
Yeah.
like gold,
Okay.
or even a basket of other cryptocurrencies.
So they're like the more, let's say, conservative investors in crypto.
Yeah, you could say that. They're looking for a way to participate in the crypto market without the wild price swings.
Makes sense. Any examples of these stablecoins?
Oh yeah, tons. You have USDC, which is backed by actual US dollars held in reserve.
Okay, USDC.
Then there's Tether, or USDT, which is also pegged to the US dollar.
USDT.
And there's DAI, which is interesting because it's an algorithmic stablecoin.
Algorithmic.
Yeah, so instead of being backed by actual assets, its value is maintained by this intricate system of smart contracts and market mechanisms.
So it's like self-driving money.
Yeah, kinda.
That's both fascinating and slightly terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, definitely raises some interesting questions.
Okay, so those are stablecoins.
Right.
What other altcoins are out there?
Well, how about the ones that are, still mining away like Bitcoin?
Okay, so we're talking about the energy-intensive one.
Exactly. These are the ones that use the proof-of-work consensus mechanism.
Proof of work.
Yeah, remember, it's like a giant decentralized competition.
Oh, the one where miners are racing to solve these complex puzzles with their computers.
That's it. And whoever solves it first gets to add the next block to the blockchain and they get rewarded.
It's a digital gold rush, but with computers instead of pickaxes.
I like that analogy. And some of the big players in this space are Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Ethereum Classic.
Oh, yeah. Dogecoin, the one with the Shiba Inu dog, right?
That's the one. And you know what? It started as a joke.
No way.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of how community and social media can turn an altcoin into a phenomenon, even if it started as a meme.
The power of memes. Okay, so we got stablecoins, we've got mining-based coins. What else is out there?
Well, let's move on to something a little more energy efficient, staking-based coins.
Staking.
Yep. Instead of mining, these coins use a different consensus mechanism called proof of stake.
Proof of stake, okay.
So instead of using all that computing power to solve puzzles, you essentially stake your coins.
What does that mean?
You lock them up as collateral to help validate transactions and secure the network.
Got it.
It's like you're becoming part of a decentralized security force, and you get rewarded for it.
Okay, so it's less about raw computing power and more about having a stake in the network.
Exactly. It's more energy efficient, and it encourages users to hold their coins for longer periods of time.
Which can help stabilize the price, right?
It can. Some popular staking-based coins are Cardano and Solana.
Cardano, Solana, okay.
And then there's governance tokens.
Governance tokens, what are those?
Imagine having a say in the future of your favorite crypto project. That's what these are all about.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
They give holders voting rights on key decisions, like how the project is developed or how funds are used.
So it's like having shares in a company.
Kind of, but instead of dividends, you have a voice in how things are run.
That's cool. So which projects are using these governance tokens?
A lot of the big players in decentralized finance or DeFi, like Uniswap, Maker, and Avis.
Okay, so it's like a decentralized democracy for a crypto project.
Exactly. And then we have utility tokens.
Utility
Think of
tokens.
them like digital coupons or vouchers.
Coupons.
Yeah, they grant you access to specific goods and services within a particular blockchain ecosystem.
Okay, that makes sense.
Example, Filecoin.
Filecoin, yeah.
You can use its native token, FIL, to pay for data storage and retrieval on its decentralized network.
So it's like pay rent for space on the blockchain.
Exactly. Or there's the basic attention token, or BAT.
Date.
That one's used within the Brave browser to reward users for viewing ads and content creators for their work.
So it's like you get paid for paying attention.
Kind of. It's all about rewarding user engagement in a more fair and transparent way.
I like that.
And last but not least, we have security tokens.
Security tokens. All right, hit me with it.
Now, these are really interesting. They represent ownership of real-world assets.
Real world assets.
Like company shares, real estate, even fine art.
Whoa!
Imagine owning a piece of a skyscraper or a famous painting.
Through a token.
Through a token, exactly.
Is that even possible?
It's already happening. There are companies like Polymath building platforms to make issuing and trading these tokens easier. Even WeWork and RealBlocks have explored using them to tokenize real estate.
So the future of investing is tokenized.
It could be.
My head is spinning. We've covered stablecoins, mining-based coins, staking, governance, utility, and now security tokens.
It's a lot, right? But I think we've laid a good foundation.
We have. But before we go any further, I think it's time to take a step back
Okay.
and compare all these amazing altcoins to the OG cryptocurrency, Bitcoin.
Yeah, good idea. Let's see how they measure up.
What are some of the key differences we should keep in mind?
Well, the most fundamental difference is purpose.
Okay, purpose.
Bitcoin was designed primarily as a decentralized digital store of value and a medium of exchange.
Right, like digital gold.
Exactly. But a lot of altcoins, as we've seen, have much more specific use cases. They're tailored to their particular ecosystems.
So it's like Bitcoin is the Swiss Army knives of crypto, and altcoins are all the specialized tools.
I like that.
What other distinctions should we be aware of?
Well, the technology under the hood can vary quite a bit.
Okay, tech.
Altcoins often experiment with different consensus mechanisms, like we saw with proof of stake.
Right, right.
They might introduce new privacy features or try to achieve faster transaction speeds.
So it's not just a copy-paste of Bitcoin's code, they're actually trying to innovate.
Absolutely. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with blockchain.
That's what I love about this space. It's constantly evolving. So purpose, technology, anything else?
One more big one, market capitalization.
Market.
Bitcoin, being the first and most established, still has the largest market cap by far.
Right, it's the king.
But altcoins, they have a whole range of market caps, from billions of dollars to just a few thousand.
So the market cap reflects the total value of all the coins in circulation.
Exactly.
And this impacts things like price, volatility, and how easy it is to trade the coin.
You got it.
Okay, I'm starting to get a handle on this altcoin diversity, but with thousands to choose from, it's still a bit overwhelming.
It is a lot to take in.
How do we even begin to evaluate these altcoins and avoid getting lost in the weeds?
That's a great question, and that's where we'll pick up in part 2.
All right, stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back soon to delve deeper into the world of altcoins. All right, so we're back. We're knee-deep in the altcoin jungle, and I'm ready to get some investing advice.
Okay, well, before you jump in with both feet, there are some risks you need to be aware of.
Risks? Yeah, I figured.
I mean, it's exciting, right? But we got to be smart about it.
Absolutely. So what kind of risks are we talking about here? You mentioned volatility, scams, and regulatory uncertainty. Let's break those down a bit.
Okay, yeah. Volatility, that's a big one. Crypto prices, they're famous for their dramatic swings. And altcoins, because they often have smaller market caps, they can be even more susceptible to those swings.
So a small amount of trading can have a big impact on the price.
Yeah, especially when you throw speculation into the mix.
So how do you even approach investing in such a volatile market? Is it just a roller coaster ride you have to accept?
Well, there are some strategies you can use to manage the risk.
Okay, good. Lay it on me.
One approach is to focus on altcoins with strong fundamentals.
Strong fundamentals?
Yeah, you want to look for things like an experienced team, a well-defined purpose, a proven track record. Those are the altcoins that are less likely to be swayed by just, market wins.
So it's like choosing a company with a solid business model, not just chasing the latest trend.
That's a great way to put it. And another important strategy is diversification.
Diversification, okay. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Spread your investments across different types of altcoins. That way you're not so exposed to the ups and downs of any one particular coin.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about those scams and rug pulls. This is the part that always makes me nervous. How do we protect ourselves from those bad actors out there?
Well, your best defense is due diligence.
Due diligence. So do your research, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Before you invest in any altcoin, really dig into the project, look for any red flags, like are the developers anonymous? Are they making promises that sound too good to be true? Do they have a clear white paper?
Okay, so what's a white paper? We haven't really talked about those yet.
Yeah, it's a document that outlines the altcoin's purpose, its technology, its roadmap, its essential reading. If a project doesn't have a white paper, that's a big red flag.
Got it. So it's like being a detective, scrutinizing every detail for clues.
I like that. You also want to pay attention to the project's communication and transparency.
Okay, transparency.
Yeah, are the developers actively engaging with the community? Are they answering questions openly? Are they transparent about their progress? Both the good and the bad. If a project is being secretive, that's another warning sign.
So transparency builds trust.
Exactly. Trust is everything in this space.
All right, so we've talked about volatility, scams. What about liquidity?
Liquidity. That's another one you don't want to forget. Remember, liquidity is how easily you can buy or sell an asset without affecting its price.
Okay, so you don't want to get stuck with an altcoin you can't easily sell.
Exactly. It's like being stuck in a traffic jam when you need to make a quick exit.
Not fun. So how do we check the liquidity of an altcoin?
Good question. Generally, altcoins that have a high trading volume on reputable exchanges, those tend to be more liquid. You can check an altcoin's trading volume on different exchanges before you invest.
So in a way, I'm checking the traffic flow on the altcoin highway before I hop on.
You got it.
Okay, so one last risk to discuss. The regulatory landscape. This is the part that always feels a bit unpredictable. How do we navigate a world where the rules could change at any moment?
Yeah, that's a challenge not just for altcoins, but for the entire crypto space. Regulations are still evolving. It's important to stay informed, follow the news, join those crypto communities online, maybe even consult with a financial advisor who specializes in crypto.
Okay, so be proactive. Do your homework.
Exactly.
All right, so we covered a lot of ground here, and I have to say, with all this talk of volatility, scams, regulations, it can be a bit daunting. So is it even worth it? I mean, what does the future hold for altcoins? Are they just a passing fad, or do they have the potential to, really change the game?
That's the million-dollar question. I can't predict the future, but I can tell you what I'm seeing. One possibility is that we see a consolidation in the altcoin market. Right now, there are thousands out there.
Right, too many.
Too many. So it's likely that only a fraction of them will survive and thrive in the long run.
So it's like a survival of the fittest situation.
Exactly.
But what does fittest even mean in the altcoin world?
Well, it means offering real value, solving real problems, adapting to the changing landscape, building a strong community. Those are the altcoins that have the best chance of making it.
It sounds like there's a lot of potential for disruption and innovation in this space. What other possibilities do you see on the horizon?
Well, another really exciting possibility is the integration of altcoins into our everyday lives. We're already seeing this with decentralized finance, or DeFi.
DeFi, yeah.
It's using blockchain and to create all these financial products and services, things that anyone with an internet connection can access.
So we're talking lending, borrowing, investing, all outside the traditional financial system.
Exactly. Imagine a world where you don't need a bank to manage your finances.
That's a huge shift. What other industries could be disrupted by altcoins and blockchain?
Oh, so many. You could have blockchain-based supply chains that track goods from, farm to table or factory to consumer. You could have decentralized marketplaces where buyers and sellers connect directly.
Cut out the middleman.
Exactly. We could even have decentralized identity systems that give people control over their own data.
It's mind-blowing to think about the potential. It seems like altcoins could change so much about how our world works.
They really could.
But of course, with great power comes great responsibility. What are some of the challenges we need to be aware of as altcoins become more mainstream?
Well, privacy and security are huge. As we start trusting more of our financial lives to these decentralized systems, we have to make sure those systems are secure, that they can't be hacked. And we also need to think about accessibility.
Accessibility, right?
How do we ensure that these systems are inclusive, that they don't leave anyone behind?
Important questions. Okay, so it seems like the future of altcoins is full of possibilities. It's a bit of a choose-your-own-adventure story.
That's a good way to put it.
What's your final thought for our listeners as they navigate this exciting but complex world?
Well, I'd say stay informed, stay engaged, and don't be afraid to ask questions. This world is constantly changing, so keep learning and keep exploring.
Okay, so we're back for the final leg of our altcoin adventure.
We've seen a lot.
We have, from stablecoins to security tokens, from the energy-intensive world of mining to the more sustainable realm of staking.
And we've talked about the risks, the scams, the volatility, all that.
Definitely a lot to consider. But, through all of this, it keeps coming back to the human element for me.
The human element.
Yeah, like all of this innovation, all this technology, it's all driven by people, right?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's people who are building this technology, who are investing in it, who are using it to try and, create something new.
Exactly. And we've talked about how altcoins can give individuals more control, over their own finances.
Right. The idea of financial empowerment.
Yeah, and enabling people to participate in these new economies, these new systems. It's kind of a story about, I don't know, like people taking control, experimenting, pushing boundaries.
It's a story about democratizing finance, creating opportunities for people who have been excluded from traditional systems.
Right, exactly. And it's also a story about, community, like we saw with Dogecoin, right?
Yes. The power of community is huge in the crypto world.
It's amazing. But of course, we have to be realistic. There's a flip side to all of this, right? We can't just ignore the risks.
Of course not. Like we talked about, there are scams, there's volatility, there's the potential for things to go wrong.
And even with the best intentions, there are still those ethical questions we need to be asking.
Absolutely. Like any powerful tool, altcoins and blockchain can be used for good or for bad. So it's up to us, all of us, to figure out how to use this technology responsibly.
That's a big responsibility. Where do we even begin?
Well, I think it starts with education, just like we're doing here, having open and honest conversations about both the potential and the risks.
Right, and being willing to ask those tough questions.
Exactly. Challenge the status quo. Don't be afraid to say, wait a minute, how does this work? Why are we doing it this way?
So basically, stay curious, stay informed.
Exactly. And never stop learning. And this world is constantly changing, so we have to change with it.
Great advice. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the wild world of altcoins.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, and hopefully our listeners are walking away with a sense of, both the excitement and the responsibility that comes with this technology.
It's a fascinating world, that's for sure. And who knows what the future holds.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive, everyone, and until next time, keep exploring.